Have you ever blanked on your grandchild's name? That moment can feel frightening. But it's not always just aging. Often it's the foods on your plate quietly draining your memory. Today, I'll share 10 proven foods that help slow aging after 50. One of them so powerful, research shows it can make your brain test up to 11 years younger. After 50, many notice energy fading, memory slipping, or joints aching. I see this every week in my clinic, and it's not just the passage of time. Research shows aging is deeply shaped by what fuels your body. And while you should always check with your healthcare provider before changing your diet, the right foods can protect your brain, your heart, and even your independence. Let's walk through 10 clinically proven foods that slow aging from the inside out. 1. Fatty fish, brain preservation. Have you ever had a morning where the fog just won't lift? You're looking for the right word. Or you walk into the kitchen and suddenly forget why you're there. That's not just age playing tricks. It's your brain quietly losing the very fuel it needs to stay sharp. One of the most powerful ways to protect it? Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel. They're rich in omega-3s, especially DHA. I tell my patients to picture DHA like the insulation on electrical wiring. When it's strong, signals zip through fast and clean. Without it, sparks start to fizzle and memories slip away. A study published in Neurology followed over 2,000 older adults. Those with the highest omega-3 levels had brain volumes that looked 2 years younger. 2 years, just from what's on the plate. Frank, 68, used to laugh that he could never finish a page of his favorite mystery novel. The words slid right off. He swapped his Friday fried meal for grilled salmon twice a week. 6 months later, he came back and said, "Doc, the fog is lifted." I can follow the story again. So how do you make this work for you? 2 to 3 servings a week, about the size of your palm each time. If fish isn't your favorite, a purified omega-3 supplement works too. Just take it with meals, so your body absorbs it fully. Adding omega-3s is like pouring fresh oil into an old engine. Everything runs smoother, less friction, less wear. And the best part? This isn't about dieting. It's about memory, clarity, independence, things you deserve to keep. But fatty fish is just the beginning. Because while it protects your brain's wiring, the next food actually cleans out the clutter inside your cells. 2. Berries, cellular housekeeping. You know how a cluttered living room feels? Stacks of papers, dusty corners, things you meant to throw out months ago. That's exactly what happens inside our cells as we age. Damaged proteins pile up. Worn-out parts just sit there, slowing everything down. Scientists call it cellular junk, and it's one of the hidden drivers of aging. Now, here's where berries come in. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. Their deep colors aren't just beautiful. They're loaded with compounds called polyphenols. These little molecules flip on a process called autophagy. Think of it like your body's housekeeping service, sweeping away the broken pieces so your cells work like new. A 2019 meta-analysis looked at 11 clinical trials. The result? Seniors who ate berries regularly had sharper memory and faster processing speed. Not in decades, within months. Margaret, 70, used to joke that she was the queen of Post-it notes. She left reminders everywhere. Then she started adding half a cup of blueberries to her breakfast. Within weeks, her grandkids noticed, "Grandma, you don't forget our names anymore." So, what's a simple step you can try? A handful, about half a cup, each morning. Toss them into oatmeal, a smoothie, or just eat them fresh. Do that daily, and you're not just eating fruit, you're helping your cells clean house. And here's a thought for you. Have you ever felt more tired after what you thought was a healthy meal? You're not alone. Drop your answer in the comments. I read everyone. Because while berries clear out the clutter, the next food builds a shield around your brain cells themselves. And that's where the story gets even more powerful. 3. Leafy greens, cognitive shield. Have you ever put on a pair of sunglasses on a bright day and suddenly everything feels clearer, easier on the eyes? That's exactly what leafy greens do for your brain. Spinach, kale, collard greens. They're packed with a pigment called lutein. And lutein works like natural sunglasses, shielding your brain cells from the glare of oxidative stress. Without that shield, it's like standing in the sun without protection. Damage builds up quietly, year after year. But there's more. Leafy greens are also rich in nitrates. Inside your body, those nitrates turn into nitric oxide, a gas that opens up blood vessels. More open blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients delivered straight to the brain. Rush University followed nearly 1,000 older adults. Those who ate just one serving of greens a day had brains that looked 11 years younger than those who rarely touched them. 11 years, just from what's on the plate. Helen, 72, used to tell me she couldn't follow conversations in her book club. She swapped her lunchtime sandwich for a kale and olive oil salad. At her next checkup, she laughed and said, "Doc, I feel like I got my mind back." So, how much should you aim for? 1 to 2 servings daily. A simple side of spinach with dinner or sautéed kale in olive oil. The olive oil doesn't just taste good, it boosts lutein absorption by up to 5 times. It's a small shift with a big reward. Clearer thinking, steadier memory, and a brain protected against time's wear and tear. But here's the catch. Most seniors think once they're eating vegetables, they're covered. The truth is, not all foods protect you. Some even fuel the very inflammation you're trying to fight. And the next food proves just how wrong most people get it. 4. Nuts. Anti-inflammatory armor. If leafy greens are your brain's sunglasses, then nuts are like a fire extinguisher for your body. They quietly put out the flames of inflammation that build up with age. Walnuts, almonds, pistachios, they're packed with vitamin E. And vitamin E acts like a shield, neutralizing the free radicals that slowly chip away at your cells. Walnuts in particular also bring alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3, giving your blood vessels extra protection. The New England Journal of Medicine followed more than 700 adults for 2 years. Those who added a handful of walnuts daily saw their LDL cholesterol drop by 4 to 6%, numbers strong enough to ease strain on the heart without changing anything else. I'll never forget George, 74. He came to me frustrated. His blood pressure medicine was working, but not as well as before. We added a small bowl of mixed nuts in the afternoon. 3 months later, his readings were better, and he said he finally had steady energy through the day instead of the 3 p.m. crash. So, what's the sweet spot? About 1 ounce a day, a small handful. Choose raw or dry roasted, skip the sugary coatings. You can sprinkle them over oatmeal, toss them into a salad, or keep a jar in the kitchen for quick snacking. It's such a simple habit, but here's the danger. Ignore inflammation now, and it doesn't stay quiet. It builds into joint pain, stiff arteries, and memory decline that creeps in without warning. That's why the next food matters even more, because while nuts cool the fire, olive oil polishes the very pipes carrying life through your body. And what it does for your arteries may surprise you. 5. Olive oil, vascular protector. When I ask patients what they cook with, most say butter, margarine, or whatever oil is cheapest on the shelf. But here's the truth. Those choices quietly stiffen your arteries over time. Extra virgin olive oil does the opposite. It's loaded with polyphenols, tiny compounds that act like polish on your blood vessels. They help your good cholesterol, HDL, do its real job, cleaning up plaque and calming inflammation inside the arteries. In a 12-week study of older adults, those who swapped their main fat for extra virgin olive oil saw significant improvements in blood vessel flexibility and markers of aging. Just 3 months, and their circulation looked years younger. I remember Rosa, 66. She had always used butter on her toast. We switched her to a drizzle of olive oil instead. At her next checkup, Her cholesterol levels had dropped enough that her doctor shook his head and said, "Whatever you're doing, keep it up." Rosa smiled and said, "It's just olive oil." "So, how do you use it?" "Aim for 2 to 3 tablespoons a day. Drizzle it over salads, cooked vegetables, or even a slice of whole grain bread. Just don't fry with it at high heat. The magic of those polyphenols is strongest when the oil is used raw or gently warmed. Think of olive oil as liquid gold for your arteries. Every spoonful helps them stay smooth, flexible, and resilient. But protecting the pipes is only half the battle. The real key is making sure your immune system, the soldiers guarding every organ, stay strong as you age. And that's where the next food comes in. 6. Probiotic yogurt, immune boost. Think about the last time you caught a cold. For some, it drags on for weeks, while others bounce back in days. The difference often starts in a place most people don't expect: your gut. Inside your intestines live trillions of bacteria. Some protect you, some work against you. As we age, that balance tips. The good bacteria fade, and the immune system weakens. That's why one infection in your 60s can knock you down harder than it did in your 30s. Here's where probiotic yogurt makes a difference. It's filled with live cultures, tiny soldiers that march in, restore balance, and strengthen your immune defenses. A randomized trial of adults over 45 found that those who drank probiotic yogurt daily had 45% fewer respiratory infections over just 12 weeks, fewer coughs, fewer colds, more energy to enjoy life. Take Lillian, 71. Every winter she expected at least 2 bouts of bronchitis. After adding 1 cup of probiotic yogurt with her breakfast, last winter she had none. She told me, "Doc, I finally felt safe hugging my grandkids without worrying I'd get sick." So, what's the routine? 1 cup a day. Pair it with fresh fruit or add a sprinkle of chia seeds. Just check the label. Look for live and active cultures. And keep added sugars low. Think of it this way. Every spoonful is like recruiting more soldiers to guard your body's borders. And while yogurt strengthens the immune system, the next food cushions your heart itself, reducing the very risks that shorten independence after 60. 7. Avocado, heart protector. Most of my patients are shocked when I tell them this. Your heart doesn't just age, it responds, meal by meal, to what you spread on your toast. For years, many used butter or margarine. The problem? Those fats stiffen arteries and raise the very risks we fear most: heart attack, stroke, loss of independence. Avocados flip that story. They're packed with monounsaturated fats, the kind that smooth out your cholesterol profile. They also bring potassium, which helps relax blood vessels and lower pressure on the heart. One of the largest nutrition studies, published in Circulation in 2022, tracked over 100,000 adults for 3 decades. Those who ate at least 2 servings of avocado a week had a 16% lower risk of cardiovascular disease and a 21% lower risk of heart attack. That's a powerful shield, just from food. I think of Daniel, 65. He was skeptical at first. We swapped his morning butter for half an avocado, mashed on whole grain bread. 6 months later, his cholesterol had dropped, and he said, "Doc, I didn't change much, but this one swap gave me peace of mind." So how do you use it? Aim for half an avocado 3 or 4 times a week. Spread it on toast, dice it into salads, or blend it into a smoothie. Pairing it with whole grains or eggs gives even more steady energy. Think of avocado as a cushion for your arteries, absorbing pressure, keeping them flexible, and protecting the heartbeat that carries you through every day. And while avocado cushions the heart, the next food does something even more surprising. It boosts circulation by relaxing blood vessels in a way that feels almost too good to be true. And yes, you'll be glad it's delicious. 8. Dark chocolate, circulation booster. Now, this one often makes my patients smile. "Yes, doctor, are you really telling me chocolate can be good for me?" And my answer is, if it's the right kind, absolutely. Dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, is rich in flavanols. These compounds trigger your blood vessels to release nitric oxide, a natural gas that tells the vessel walls to relax and widen. More space means better circulation, lower blood pressure, and less strain on the heart. In fact, a meta-analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consume cocoa flavanols had significant reductions in blood pressure. That's medication-level impact from something that actually tastes like dessert. Elaine, 70, used to dread her evening walks. She felt her legs grow heavy after just a few blocks. She started enjoying one small square of dark chocolate every night after dinner. 3 months later, she told me, "Doc, I can walk twice as far without feeling drained." So, what's the sweet spot? 20 to 30 grams a day. That's about 2 small squares. Choose chocolate that's at least 70% cacao, and avoid brands loaded with sugar or cream. This way, you get the flavanols without undoing the benefit. Think of dark chocolate like WD, 40 for stiff blood vessels. Suddenly, they move smoothly again. And it's a habit you'll look forward to. But circulation is only one part of lasting independence. The next food doesn't just protect your heart. It fuels your energy steadily all day long, without the crashes that make life after 60 harder than it should be. 9 whole grains. Steady energy. One of the most common things I hear from patients after 60 is this: "Doc, I just don't have steady energy anymore. I get a burst in the morning, then I crash." The problem isn't always age, it's the fuel. White bread, pastries, sugary cereals. They burn fast, like paper tossed into a fire. A bright flame for a moment, then nothing but smoke. Whole grains are different. Oats, barley, quinoa, they're packed with fiber, especially beta-glucan. That fiber slows down digestion, releasing energy like a log that smolders gently all day long. The result? More stable blood sugar, lower cholesterol, fewer spikes and crashes. The Framingham Heart Study followed thousands of adults for years. Those with the highest intake of whole grains had a 22% lower risk of death from all causes. 22% just from swapping the type of grain on your plate. Harold, 73, had struggled with afternoon slumps. We switched his morning white toast for a bowl of oatmeal topped with walnuts and berries. Within weeks, his blood sugar readings leveled out, and he said, "Doc, I can finally make it through the afternoon without feeling like I need a nap." So, how do you bring this into your day? 1 to 2 servings is enough. A warm bowl of oats in the morning, a barley soup for lunch, or quinoa tossed into your salad. Think of whole grains as slow-burning logs for your body's fire. They keep you warm, steady, and resilient, without the roller coaster that wears you down. But steady energy isn't the final step, because the next food doesn't just keep you going, it builds the muscle and strength that protect your independence. And that's where beans and lentils change the game. 10. Legumes and beans, plant protein. Power. When I talk with patients about strength after 60, the question always comes up. "Doc, how do I keep my muscles from disappearing?" Here's the truth. Your body needs steady protein, not just from meat, but from plants too. Beans, lentils, chickpeas, they're packed with plant-based protein and isoflavones, compounds that reduce inflammation and help preserve both muscle and bone. A 20-year study on seniors following the Mediterranean diet showed something remarkable. Those who ate the most legumes had a 28% lower risk of death from all causes. 28%, simply by making beans part of the weekly menu. Ruth, 69, had struggled with feeling weaker after climbing stairs. We added lentil soup twice a week. Months later, she came back smiling. "Doc, I can carry groceries up without stopping halfway. I feel stronger again." So, how do you make it work? Aim for 1 cup of cooked beans or lentils 3 to 4 times a week. Rotate the types: black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas. Each brings its own mix of nutrients. You can add them to soups, stews, or even toss them cold into a salad. Think of beans as slow-release batteries for your muscles and your heart. They keep energy flowing, strength steady, and give you the foundation to stay active. And while beans wrap up our top 10 foods, here's the bigger truth. This isn't about dieting. It's about protecting your independence so you can climb stairs, play with grandkids, and live each day without fear of slowing down. So, after hearing these 10 foods, I hope one thing is clear. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. It's not about chasing youth. It's about fueling the body you have today so it keeps carrying you tomorrow. I've watched patients in their 60s and 70s light up again. Sharper minds, stronger steps, steadier hearts, simply by choosing differently at the table. And you can do the same. This week, ask yourself, which one food feels easiest to add into your life right now? Not all 10, just one. Share your choice in the comments. It may inspire someone else your age who needs that first step. And if this resonated with you, tap the subscribe button. Every week I bring science-backed, gentle advice to help you stay strong, independent, and full of life after 60. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about food. It's about keeping the strength to lift your grandchild, the clarity to remember their name, and the freedom to live each moment fully. That's the gift I want for you. And it starts with what's on your plate tonight.